She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her, or empty theaters all around the country, we are now at a 1 out of 10 on IMDb for the new Snow White. And it couldn't happen to a better person.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
In a shocking turn of events, Disney appears to be pulling Snow White merchandise from stores nationwide. Is the backlash so intense that one of the world's biggest entertainment companies is making drastic moves? And how is Rachel Zegler handling the mounting pressure?
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them.
The drama unfolding behind Disney's latest live-action remake is more intense than anyone expected. The once-anticipated Snow White remake has become Disney's biggest nightmare, with theaters sitting empty across the country.
Don't alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
The film has crashed to a devastating 1.6 rating out of 10 on IMDb, a historic low for a Disney production of this scale. Viewers who braved the screening reported an unsettling fever dream rather than the magical experience Disney typically delivers, citing inconsistencies in nearly every department from acting to cinematography.
Snow White bombs, breaks records for the lowest live-action remake opening ever.
This isn't just another case of online trolls targeting a film. Lifelong Disney fans who've defended the company through past controversies are turning their backs on Snow White 2025.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
One moviegoer described it as watching someone try to solve a puzzle with pieces from different boxes. Nothing quite fits together. The film's visual style has come under particular fire. Despite its massive budget, many scenes reportedly appear unfinished or hastily edited together. The reimagined, magical creatures that replace the traditional dwarfs have been described as nightmare fuel by some viewers.
Let's see the dwarfs picture first, and then let's go to the video.
Look, it looks like
CGI the dwarves.
It looks like the dwarf fraternity from like the University of Oregon.
Those are bandits.
Do CGI instead.
There you go.
Those guys didn't make it.
No. That guy's 6'2".
It seems the multiple rounds of reshoots created a visual inconsistency that even post-production couldn't smooth over. Rachel Zegler, who plays the titular role, has become the center of this storm. Her pre-release comments about reimagining Snow White without the classic romance element have sparked intense debate. "It's no longer 1937, Zegler stated in interviews. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be."
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
God.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
What?
So yeah, my agent would have punched me in the face.
These statements, meant to position the film as forward-thinking, instead alienated many fans who felt the essence of the beloved story was being dismantled.
For every one of the 18 hours I am in the Snow White dress, I expect to get paid. If it's 18 hours, I want 18 hours of pay. I'm sure she got underpaid as a Disney lead actress.
In a series of now controversial interviews, she described critics as people that we need to educate and love into awareness. When social media backlash intensified, her response, telling those who disagreed to hit the unfollow button because she didn't need their business, only fueled the flames. Industry veterans have expressed that this approach to publicity was unprecedented for a major Disney release, with one studio executive calling it a masterclass in how not to promote a $250 million film.
My agent would have punched me in the face if I was up there saying some stupid what an investment. Oh, like $300 million.
Behind the scenes, the production was reportedly plagued with problems from day one. Sources claim the film underwent 3 separate rounds of reshoots, each attempting to fix fundamental issues with the script and storyline. Rather than creating cohesion, these multiple revisions apparently left the movie feeling disjointed and patched together, with awkward transitions breaking the film's rhythm. The budget reportedly ballooned to over $250 million, creating a financial hole so deep that even a strong opening weekend couldn't have saved it.
It's snow. They should have just called it snow.
By the way,
slightly tanned.
That was the budget before promotion was $270.
Okay.
The promotion budget I just read was $230.
So $500 million.
Correct.
Internal Disney documents allegedly show that warning signs appeared early in test screenings. Focus groups reported confusion about the film's tone, with children finding it scary but not in a fun way, and adults describing it as neither traditional enough to satisfy nostalgia nor innovative enough to justify the changes.
It was a wholesome family film, and now they've turned it into woke trash.
Rather than reconsidering the approach, production executives allegedly doubled down, believing that marketing could overcome these fundamental storytelling issues. The most controversial change was the decision to remove Snow White's classic romantic journey. While Zegler and some creative team members defended this as empowering, audiences felt the alternative narrative was poorly executed. The film's conclusion apparently features characters in matching white outfits performing a dance sequence that viewers described as bizarrely out of place, reinforcing the impression of a production that lost direction along the way. This finale, described by one reviewer as interpretive dance meets corporate team-building exercise, has become symbolic of the film's larger problems. Without the emotional anchor of the traditional story's resolution, the new ending feels disconnected from both the original tale and the remake's attempted themes. Children reportedly asked their parents what was happening, while adult audiences exchanged confused glances in darkened theaters. Disney executives seem to have recognized the problem midway through the promotional phase. As negative reviews started pouring in, the marketing campaign was suddenly scaled back.
So, I mean, this woman has clicked every box. And just for cherry on top at the end, she gave an interview last week talking about how they were basically a bunch of white supremacists on the set of West Side Story.
A rare move for a company known for its all-out promotional strategies. Red carpet events were canceled, planned talk show appearances mysteriously vanished from schedules, and billboard advertisements in major cities were quickly replaced. Even more telling, merchandise lines connected to the film have reportedly been discontinued or never fully rolled out, suggesting a complete lack of confidence in the product.
Or Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, and she was angrily saying, did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?
Retail insiders claim that Snow White dolls, costumes, and playsets were pulled from distribution channels or had their orders dramatically reduced. Theme park plans to update Snow White attractions have allegedly been put on indefinite hold, marking an unprecedented retreat for Disney's usually seamless cross-promotional machine.
Disney's Bob Iger says their mission is to entertain, not send messaging as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live-action Disney adaptation.
The financial impact cannot be overstated. With hundreds of millions spent on production, reshoots, and initial marketing efforts, Snow White 2025 is poised to become Disney's biggest live-action flop to date. Industry analysts point out that even foreign markets and streaming deals, typical safety nets for underperforming releases, won't be enough to recoup the massive investment.
And if she hadn't have opened her mouth, I think that this movie might have done well. They might have just been able to ride on the hopium of the movie and some well-cut trailers, and people would have paid to go see it, and then it would have fallen off when people knew it was garbage.
Unsold merchandise sitting in warehouses only deepens the financial wound. Wall Street has taken notice, with Disney stock experiencing unusual volatility following the film's opening weekend. Analysts who previously praised the company's strategy of reimagining its animated classics are now questioning the sustainability of this business model. One prominent investment firm has already downgraded Disney stock, citing concerns about fundamental miscalculations in audience expectations. Bob Iger's leadership is now under serious scrutiny. The Disney CEO recently tried to distance the company from accusations of prioritizing messaging over entertainment, stating, "Infusing messaging is not what we're up to. We need to be entertaining."
Disney's Bob Iger says their mission is to entertain, not send messaging as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live-action Disney adaptation ever.
Yet shareholders are demanding answers as the Snow White disaster threatens to impact other planned projects, potentially delaying or reducing budgets across the board. This isn't just about one unsuccessful film, it's about trust. Disney built its empire on creating entertainment that resonates across generations. Parents who grew up with the animated classics want to share similar experiences with their... For Rachel Zegler, the career implications could be significant. While talented young actors can certainly recover from unsuccessful projects, the combination of the film's failure and her pre-release comments has created a challenging narrative to overcome. Talent agents suggest that studios might be hesitant to cast her in similarly high-profile franchise roles until the Snow White controversy fades from public memory. Disney now faces difficult decisions about its upcoming slate of live-action remakes. Projects in various stages of development will likely undergo additional scrutiny and possibly significant creative recalibration. Budget approvals are reportedly becoming more rigorous, with greater emphasis on maintaining connections to the emotional elements that made the original successful. What began as Disney's attempt to reimagine a classic for new generations has instead become a cautionary tale for the entire industry. As the dust settles on this unprecedented failure, one question remains: will Disney learn from these mistakes? Or will they continue down a path that increasingly disconnects them from the magic that once defined their brand?